Alright, and welcome everybody. I would like to release some knowledge. Hopefully, everybody's past the point of taking knowledge away from any source of information or any information coming from anyone or anything without any evidence, which I'm sure we're going to have people coming at us trying to claim that there's nothing being proven in my statements. But that's why I'm going to try to make this as presentable as I can. And you know what? I'm trying to do this not really. It just so happens that, I can probably prove the most people wrong about, like, what is wrong with their opposing ideas. And it's not really a matter of anybody being smarter or not. It's a matter of who looks at it at what way. So I just want everybody to know what I believe is more of the more accurate approach, because well, in the way that we exist, you can literally take up infinite amounts of approaches the way you want to perceive things. So within those infinite amounts of approaches, there are boundaries. You can perceive something the wrong way, and you can perceive something a better way. There is better and there is worse. There is bad and there is good. There is variance. All right, now I need to explain the biggest problem with evolution. I can literally debunk it. I'm going to try to debunk it in literally just like 1 minute. And that's how you literally know something is absolutely not true. Because if you can debunk something in just like, boom, 1 minute. So the quickest way to prove that atheism is incorrect is a matter of, first of all, how you look at it. First of all, it's not very useful to look at the perspective of life at the point of an atheist. Like, it isn't very useful to think that there's not going to be anything that matters after we exist, because if you start taking on to the rooting of things don't matter, you just kind of set yourself up to be destructive in nature, which is fine if you don't mind starting wars with people. But the thing is, that's what the problem with this whole thing going on in this world. People go out starting wars, trying to prove each other wrong. And it's fine that we want to go proving each other wrong. It's just, is there a reason to go proving somebody wrong so far out of the box? It's like, because people, they just take it so far that they're lynching people. They're freaking throwing each other off the balcony, blowing each other up. Where does the line get drawn where it's like, you know what, this is too much. This isn't what we need to be fucking doing, is proving each other wrong so far that it's a boxing match. This isn't about a matter of really who's right or wrong, because it really it doesn't matter so much of who's right or wrong. It's a matter of what can we make the most sense of and what is the most useful. All right, so it's not really useful to just go to war and battle and just, because all it is a matter of each person pointing fingers at each other saying, I'm right, you're wrong, which is fine. But it's a matter of, whenever somebody starts pointing fingers and saying, oh, I'm right, you're wrong, it's always going to go down to who can throw the hardest punch. So the thing with this whole argument is, we're in a deeper situation that most people don't realize. So the biggest problem with atheism is this. Atheism revolves around the whole principle and idea that nothing is very useful. Whether or not you want to admit that you hold on to that belief, that is a belief that is attached to atheism. Whether or not you want to say, hey, well, I do want to try to be useful, and I do want to be helpful with things. You can say that you want to be helpful and useful to society, but when you're an atheist, a true atheist, they don't believe you. When you say you believe in atheism, you believe in not being useful. All right, well, guess what? Why do you think a person like me, I can't take atheists very serious? Like, they can say what they want, but it's not like I'm going to hold on to their teachings, which it's their right to do the same thing against me. Like when I teach my teachings, they don't have to hold on to my teachings, which that's fine because it's up to each one of our own selves to judge, to know what's right or what's wrong. So as an atheist, you literally set yourself up for the dark path, which is totally dangerous, and in of course my opinion, but it almost proves itself. It's like if you want to believe that nothing is very useful, everything just proves that that's incorrect. How can you try to argue that that Earth itself is not useful? Because anybody can really make up any argument on, well, why isn't the grass purple? See, anybody can say, why isn't something this? Why isn't something this? Why isn't something this? But that just goes down to starting a war that doesn't get nowhere, all right? So you people want to keep saying, why isn't something like this? Why isn't something like this? Anybody can keep saying, why isn't something like this? I can just keep countering everything you say, why isn't something like this? And just say, well, why isn't something like this? And it gets nowhere. It doesn't matter why something isn't like this, all right? That's what atheists don't realize. It's not useful to be an atheist. And that's the biggest problem that most people, us people, that we are not atheists. It's not that we really, we understand the principalities that you guys are trying to embark and embrace in. And yes, we understand that there is a possibility that there's nothing out there, okay? But that's not useful information to really hold on to and believe in, which it's good to take note of. Nobody doesn't say, hey, that's good to take note of, all right? But it's just like, you know, just like I said earlier, when somebody walks around outside, what somebody thinks in their own mind is their own ideas and their own beliefs, all right? So just because somebody doesn't walk around thinking the same freaking thing that you're thinking doesn't mean that you have the answer to everything, because you're literally doing nothing when you're saying, well, why isn't the grass purple? One may try to argue, but that they're trying to argue a more valid point, but that's in their own perspective. You have no evidence to suggest that your perspective is a more important perspective. And if anybody had a more important perspective on the atheism, it would be solved. And you know what? The only way that atheism is going to be actually solved is if nothing exists. Don't you people realize that that's what atheism is to believe in? Is that nothing exists. All right? You're all liars when you say that nothing exists, because everything exists. Look at all this fucking shit. How can you say that this is nothing? You people are blind. How fucking blind are you? All right? Atheism, they say nothing exists. All right? Look at all this fucking shit. All right? You literally contradict yourself in the very first fucking law of your belief, saying that nothing exists, because look at all this shit. How much more shit do we need? All right? So that's the biggest problem with atheism. They say, oh, nothing exists. But look at everything that exists. They can say, oh, nothing useful exists, but that's what their belief is. Only if you want to believe that that's not useful, then it makes sense to that person to say it's not useful. But how could you hold on to the argument that it's not useful when everything in nature is proven itself to be useful? And it doesn't matter how useful or unuseful something really is. It's just a matter, one thing exists, dude. It's game the fuck over. It's already proof that atheism is absolutely not possible, because that's the only thing that you people don't realize, that we're in the middle of an information war. So you guys should have known that this information is highly hoarded, and people don't want us to know that there's a creator, all right? And I could get into so many details and facts, but I'm not gonna go spoiling all you atheists that don't want to freaking get your guys' minds cleared of thinking straight and thinking positive. Is that positive to think that nothing fucking exists when something fucking exists? You literally contradict yourself on your absolute first belief. And don't get me wrong, atheism is it's something you may want to try to perceive as an option, but it should very relatively and very quickly be like, oh my gosh, it's totally bullshit. Because, dude, literally, atheism revolves around the whole principle and belief that nothing exists, nothing is useful, nothing will be useful, nothing is useful. Absolutely false. Everything, it's the exact opposite. Everything proves to be useful, down to the quadrillion, bazillion light years out to the galaxy or whatever. It needs to be exactly the way it is. So how can you argue that? It makes no sense to take that argument. All right. And then another thing you guys got to realize is a way that you can know that there's a God. The only way anyone can know that there's really a God is if something exists. All right. If something exists, we already can take up the whole possibility that there is a very big chance that there's going to be a creator, because that's what God stands for. That's what God represents, the creator of all things. So what is the first part of the formula to look for? If the creator is the creator of all things, all you need to look for is something. All right. If nothing existed, boom, we would be able to fucking know. But how would we be able to know that nothing existed if nothing existed and if we didn't exist? It would be pointless because we wouldn't exist. We couldn't even think it. We couldn't even know it. So that's how I figured I know this stuff, because I meditate. I don't think. I know things, and that's the biggest problem with atheism and people that try to go taking information away from something or something. If you don't have a reason to take information away, if it's not harming you, that's the biggest reason you have evidence to take information away from something or someone or a principle even. If it's going to harm you, there is no evidence that the universe is out to harm us, all right? If there was any evidence that the universe was out to harm us, guess what? You wouldn't even be able to blink your fucking eyeball. So can't nobody try to argue, because there's more evidence that will always be more in favor that things need to be more useful than not useful. Of course, yeah, it looks like a fucking war field out there and everything going on, but that doesn't prove it's not useful, because guess what? If that shit wasn't blowing up out there, whatever, everything out there, if that shit wasn't there, nothing would exist. And that's exactly the opposite of atheism. The exact opposite of atheism. So, the biggest evidence that I can take away against atheists, that they're trying to take away from us, is, first of all, you don't take away information unless there's a reason that there's harm. All right? So I have evidence against atheists that they're trying to take information away and that they're harming others. So I have the right to correct your belief and judge your idea. But it's not like I'm prosecuting anybody. I'm just judging my belief, because I have evidence against you. You're taking information away, and you're basically taking information away from someone that isn't going to harm you, which is fine, but that is all based on if somebody asks you their opinion. If somebody asks you their opinion, you have the right to take information away, and you can take away as much fucking information as you want. But if you guys don't have any evidence to take information away, it's pointless to take information away, because I could do the same thing. I could say, why isn't the fucking moon green? And it's pointless to say, why isn't something this? Why isn't something that? Why isn't that? You could do that with a billion things, guys. And I'm not trying to say that anybody's stupider than anybody, but this is the point in time where we're actually learning. And I've never really been able to teach my side of the story. And it's all about hearing each other's side of the story. And guess what? I'm not going to be hearing anybody's side of the story that's going to come take information away without any evidence. If you don't have any evidence that something's harming anything or anyone, that's not believing in the most you can. How is believing that we are coming from that we were freaking grass, believing in the most we can. That's fine if there's enough evidence, but there is definitely not enough evidence to hold on to that belief, all right? And guess what? You people can hold on to that belief all you want. All I'm trying to say is you guys don't have the right to tell other people that they're wrong and you're right, just like me. I can't just say, hey, you're wrong, I'm right. That's what I'm trying to explain to everybody. It's like nobody has the right to say they're wrong, they're right, unless somebody asks them. If somebody asks, hey, am I wrong? Then you could say, hey, I think you're wrong. See, that's why we have all these wars going on. It's like we need to stop fucking thinking everything is so simple, all right? Everything can be simple, but everything is not so simple. That's the whole revelation behind things. So just because we don't all see things one way on the same page right now doesn't mean we won't at some point. So the biggest problem with atheism is they're taking information away without any reason, without any evidence, which is fine, but I could do the same thing. It's just a matter of, dude, they have like a negative outlook. It's like anybody can think anything, but it's like you really don't want to think about negative things that really are pointless. They're probably going to argue, well, my idea is useful. Well, guess what? Anything that just takes information away for no reason is pointless. Why do you think I don't take information away from anyone? I'm not saying anybody's stupider than I am, because that's taking information away. That's not right to do. It's not right unless somebody does it to your face. Somebody comes up to your face and starts telling you what to believe. It's for the person to judge. Just don't overdo it, you know? Because we're judges, man, and it's like you can fucking, anybody can say anything they want, but it doesn't mean it's fucking true. And that goes both ways for atheism and creationism. It goes both ways, guys. There's a lot of people that are on creationism side. They're not saying a lot of things that are completely accurate, but at least they're meaning it to be more correct and more useful than an atheist. And that's my only defense, somewhere I can at least take more of a side of a creationist, even if they're not taking up the most correct belief in it. And they're doing, and that's the biggest problem with everybody. That's the biggest problem with some of the creationists that I see going around. It's like, if they're taking information away without explaining why they're taking information away, and it starts a war, and it's not good to start a war between things. It's not supposed to be a war, all right? It's because it's just all that's happening is what people need to really realize is we're in a situation where it's just a matter of like, do you think the grass would be better if it was green, or do you think the grass would be better if it was freaking, let's say, red? See, that's what we're really kind of debating around here. It's really something that really doesn't matter on what way you really see it as being better. It's a matter of just like trying to understand what is the true color, all right? So if somebody doesn't really know the true color, well then fucking nobody's right or nobody's wrong. It doesn't make anybody right or anybody wrong that nobody can just solve the puzzle. That's like everyone's just mad because they can't solve the Rubik's Cube right when they pick it up. What do you guys expect? Look at how complicated the whole universe is. Do you guys expect that everything is going to just freaking make sense? There's a reason. There's always a reason that things are going on and things are happening, all right? So we need to always have, what I always try to do for myself, I just have the best perspective about things. So obviously the Rubik's Cube is still being solved and it's still unlocking. So let's let that grow. Let's let that show itself. Let it prove itself, because there's no way we're ever going to be able to know if there is not a God, because no one can actually prove that he isn't just in a different location. All right, and that's what everybody keeps overlooking. People say he doesn't exist. Well, if somebody is in a different location, that's different than not existing, because it just people can say, well, why isn't this, why isn't this, why isn't this, but then you're setting yourself up for, why don't, then you're trying to say that you want to run this story. And guess what, anybody can say any part of the freaking story they want and say whatever they want. But that's why everybody gets their own side of the story. Is nobody's side of the story is that important. That's why nobody has the right to be saying anything like is right or really wrong, unless it's useful. If you can say something that's useful, then we have the right to say it, all right? Because that's how the universe works. If something is useful, then it lets it continue to go forward. So if we don't do shit that's useful, and if we add on useful information to our beliefs and understandings, that's all we need to do. All right, we don't need to be doing the opposite. We don't need to be taking information away for no reason. We don't need to be believing the worst situation possible. We don't need to be believing that bad is a good way to live upon. Since when in the universe do we see that something bad out in the universe is the way to be running around operating? No. See, that's where I have evidence against you people. None of you people can prove that there's any benefit of us going around doing bad, unuseful things, taking information away without a reason, without evidence, all right? Everything out in the universe that's taking information away from something, it has a reason, all right? That black hole, it's destroying something, it has a reason. And guess what? The biggest thing that you people have to realize is, there's a difference between harming something that has ideas and beliefs, and there's difference between harming something like a rock. All right. First of all, if you're damaging, say that you go to a shooting range and you're shooting in material. Say you're shooting a wooden post, whatever it may be, cardboard. That is immaterial. That does not matter, all right? You know why it doesn't matter? Because it doesn't give us evidence. There's no evidence that immaterial is telling us not to damage it, all right? So if something does not give us evidence that that's not what they want, we have the right to judge like what we want to do to it, all right? Why do you think we can shape steel? Because it's our right to judge what we want to do to it, all right? We don't have the right to go harming other people, taking information away from other people, telling people that they're wrong if it's just going to make them feel bad. That's why, I'm not trying to make atheists feel bad. I want them to come to our side. I want to get followers, and I want to see, hey, your guys, it's not that no one was really wrong. It's just that we weren't really looking at the best way to look at it, and that's all we can really believe, and that's all religion is to what you believe in. So the best thing the most useful thing to really believe in is that there's a reason to exist, that there is going to be a harvest point, because that's all nature's always revolved around to prove, is there's always going to be a harvest. There's always going to be a harvest. So we're going through a season where there's going to be a harvest, and you better believe that it's more useful to look at things beneficially, add on positively, add on productively. And like I say, if an atheist would like to ask me a question, I can try to respond and give you my side of the story, but it's not like I'm going to be just sitting there proving everything like, oh, this is 100% fact. Because it's just more of a matter of everything is always kind of an outlook. So I can just kind of tell you, well, this outlook is kind of more useful to look at it like this way. Same thing as what you people are trying to do to us. You guys are trying to do that to us. You're like saying, well, isn't it more useful to perceive it like this? Which, that's fine to come ask me, hey, Brian, is it more useful for you to perceive it like that? You know what? People that ask people that is the way you want to do it. This isn't about smashing each other down, making each other look stupid, proving each other wrong, all right? Because The only time it's really critical where you really want to prove somebody wrong is if they're going to try to come harm you. You know, if somebody has a knife at you and they're going to come kill you, now you kind of have a reason to prove the most that you can to the other person. All right, we don't have a reason to be proven the most that we can against each other, guys. Man, we need to put the weapons down. Let's stop the battle, guys. It's not no we're trying to make everything as useful and helpful and beneficial as we can around here. All right, and let me tell you something else. I understand where you atheists are coming from, and that's why I have. And you know, one thing, what I truly really like about you atheists is this: you gotta. I'd say you got half of the answer right, and that's where you guys deserve a little bit more credit in general. You guys got half of the picture right, all right, and that's where I really like where some of you atheists do have very strong drives and very positive aspects about yourself. And let me tell you what I think that you're halfway right about. The thing that I've come to really respect and appreciate more and a lot about atheists is they understand that things don't really matter. And that's what's beautiful about an atheist. And I think that they need to come to the side of the true power of the you know how Darth Vader is trying to call people to the dark side. Well, I'm trying to call people to the other side of the dark side. Come to the light, guys. Come be with the light where the things are known. Embrace the stuff that's known for its most useful benefits. All right, and that's what I think that you atheists are underestimated under is you guys have so much potential. You guys have so much force behind how many ideas you can keep saying, well, this isn't this isn't that. And that is the most powerful drive, and that's the hardest thing that we have to prove against you atheists. And that's something we can't really prove against you guys. And that's what I truly believe that creationists we need to show a little more respect towards each other in general. So I'm going to try to start this off and say, you know what? You atheists are worth more than what's being kind of presented and staken out there. And that's what atheism, your guys' beliefs are truly respectable, is you guys truly understand it doesn't really matter why something is the way it is. It's just the way it is. And that's what I think you atheists need to embrace the most about your atheism experiences. It doesn't really matter why somebody is right or why somebody is wrong or why something does exist or something doesn't exist. It's just something we need to just love for the way it is. So I just wanted to point that out and why and of what makes you atheists so understandable to everybody in general. And I really do like that about you atheists, and I just would really like if you guys could use it for more useful expressions and ideas. And I think you guys could find more satisfaction out of your I think your emotions and whatever, but I think it's time for all of us to come together as let's just tell our side of the story for our side of the story, and it's whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. Let's not try to harm each other. I think that's the biggest principle that atheists and creationists and agnostics, whatever we need to believe, you Buddhist, monks, whatever it is, Satanists out there, let's just, let's not harm each other. And that's the biggest principle that I think is the most important, that we don't go harming each other. We don't need to go proving each other wrong and proving more to the other person. It's like if we want to prove more to the other person, let's at least do it respectfully, and it's at least in a way where it's going to be useful for a person to help them out. Because the way we kind of operate is we like to prove the most to somebody, but in the most negative way. Because it's kind of the most vengeful way to do it. And we don't really have a reason to do that, guys. We don't have a reason to go pulling each other's eyes out and giving and like making each other's days stressed out. I think we can grow through this, and it's time to embrace each other's flaws. Like, you know, I stated what I believe you atheists' flaws are, and of course I know other people are gonna try to say, "Hey, I have flaws," but you know what? This is the point in time that we need to accept each other's flaws and correct each other's flaws. So let's just confess our flaws and confess our sins to each other and grow from that and be like, you know what? You're wrong. I'm wrong. We're all wrong. It's nothing so serious. Let's just make ourselves useful for each other and let's help each other out. Let's just hear each other's sides of the story, guys, and that's what life's all about. Let's hear each other's sides of the story, and let's just if we have something beneficial to tell someone, let's say, hey, isn't this beneficial to believe in this? You know, so let's just keep passing the torch around and make things as useful as we can. So yeah, I just want to make sure I don't want, because here's another thing I want everybody to know. It's like if anybody says too much information to the wrong person, it just sets each other up for a war. And I don't want to be saying too much information to the wrong person, because I know each one of you out there, you guys have a lot of power within your hands and within your capabilities, and each one of you are natural born geniuses, whether or not you really know that. And that's something that I believe in. So I believe in you atheists, and I believe in you creationists, that we can help each other, guys. We don't need to hurt each other. We don't need to go to war with each other, guys. It's not beneficial, all right? We don't. We're the only reason to be fucking going to war with somebody is if they're sitting there trying to throw you in a dungeon or take you hostage, all right? This isn't a situation where I'm trying to take you as my hostage and you're not trying to take me as a hostage. So let's just lighten it all up a little bit, guys. Let's just embrace each other's own, everybody's own ideas can have its own beauty behind it, because it does help each other see things a little more clear. And that's what I want everybody to start understanding, guys. Let's just clear the picture up for everybody, Like, you know what, if you are an atheist, just say why you're an atheist. Like, let's add on to everything that's positive and useful to what makes your belief as an atheist your belief. We're not here to bring your idea down and your motivation down. All right, we want everybody to be as useful and complete with themselves and others as they can. All right, and I believe that if us forces unite as one, and if we can all just see each other's sides of the story, and if we just add on the useful information, that's where we're going to truly start clearing up the picture and getting the better answer. So let's just add on useful information, all right? If we don't have a reason to say, hey, you're wrong, or take information away without a reason, that goes into, everybody has a right to doodle an idea down onto the journal. Just make sure you're drawing something on there that's useful. It's like, if I doodle something on there, don't erase my doodle because you think it's going to look better that you doodle something over it. Let's everybody doodle their own idea on. Add on, guys. Add on beneficial information. Don't erase parts of the picture if it's just your own idea. At least if you just doodle your own idea into the picture, it's up for us to say, hey, I don't want to put that in the picture. So that's what we need to do. It's like, don't erase somebody's freaking doodling without any reason. Like, take for instance what I've done. I didn't erase any of you atheist ideas. I just truly embraced, like, hey, you know what, you guys do you guys do have half of the story right, and that's the biggest problem why, this war really is getting nowhere, because this war can just keep freaking flaming on, and it's just going to be a battle that's just too hard to defeat, because you atheists, you guys got a lot of ammunition, guys. You guys are, I think everyone's smarter than that right now, that we shouldn't just be fighting each other and going to war with each other. And I think I'm trying to calm my creationists down and my believers in the creator and whatever. Let's just calm down, guys, because we all have a lot of ammunition that we can just go throwing out at each other. And I want to warn everybody, like, I want to, especially the people on us creationist sides, like, we need to calm down, guys. Because guess what? Atheists, you guys got a lot of ammunition to come throwing at us. And guess what? That's not what we're about. Us as believers, we don't want you guys to come shelling out your guys' grenades and ammo. Because I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you guys give them evidence and if you guys go pointing the finger and you guys give them a right to go throwing their bombs at you, you know what? You kind of set yourself up to get blown up. So I'm just trying to wave everybody down, like in the middle, like throwing up the white flag, like, hey guys, let's not go blowing each other up, because each one of us, we can do that to each other, but we don't have a reason to do that, guys. Let's not do that. So my fellow believers in creation, let's not just go feeding into the fire, harming these atheists because they believe what they believe. Same with them. Let's just hope that they won't come harming us and damaging us because we believe what we believe. And guess what? We're both wrong because we both make mistakes about taking information away from each other without the right of doing it. So we need to learn about when we have the right to take information away from someone and when we don't. So guess what, atheists? You guys, there's no way you atheists can really truly lose your side of the battle, because you guys have a very large piece of the pie, which things really don't matter. So guess what, guys? We need to stop freaking feeding the war into these atheists, all right? Because they got too much power, all right? There's no way you guys are ever going to be able to stop these guys from launching their information against our beliefs. Same with us. That's the biggest problem with this war. I just so happen to believe that we kind of have more ammunition against the atheists, but it's not a matter of saying, hey, I got more ammunition, you got more ammunition. It's like I kind of feel kind of like bad because I could just go nuke them and destroy their whole belief, but it's not really about me. I need to get followers to set a good role model for myself, an example. So and last thing I need is to say too much information to the wrong person to where I come get myself bombed. So by all means, I'm not trying to start a freaking war with the wrong person, because guess what? Each individual's own ideas are pretty... They are pretty productive in their own ways to each own individual. So it's kind of hard to prove somebody's own belief wrong, and that's what I'm trying to explain. It's like we don't have the right to go proving somebody wrong if they don't want to be proven wrong. So let's start off on a good level here, guys. If somebody gives each other a reason to why we want to be proven wrong, let's start the debate. Hey, well, I want to be proven this, that. All right. So if we don't have a reason to go proving somebody wrong, let's just not even go do it. All right. So the whole thing with this whole video is I'm trying to end the whole war. All right. Because in the end, it really doesn't matter that much. All right. It's just a matter of we need to be as useful as we can. So the biggest thing, if you guys want to be proven more of how my side of the story is more correct in my opinion and my perspective, you're going to have to go to my channel and look at the God being the ruler over all of nothing and all things. And that kind of explains how, like, if there was or was not a God, that something and something should not exist. And then you could have kind of a more of an understanding behind that whole principle of my belief. So yeah, guys, I hope everybody can just kind of grow up a little bit more and just start understanding that either way you guys want to look at this, there's always going to be a very powerful case to kind of prove against each other. And it's not, this isn't the time to just say that I'm right, you're wrong, all right? Let's just freaking relax, guys. No one's getting freaking killed. No one's getting taken hostage, all right? This isn't a situation where we go freaking stabbing each other, all right? Now, let's calm down. Let's relax, guys. Relax. Chill out, guys. We need to get followers, guys. So we don't need to be freaking enraged in the war. If you guys don't want to follow me, fine. That's fine. Feel free to follow me. I'm trying to get as many followers as I can, believers and non-believers. So I just, the biggest thing I want is I just don't want to have to prove somebody wrong for no reason. It's like, if I have to prove you wrong, I don't want to have to make somebody look stupid if I don't have to. It's like, because, anybody that really tries to prove somebody looks stupid, it just kind of looks, it's kind of their own idea and their own perspective. So it's like, if somebody wants to prove me wrong, well, I can just prove them wrong, but it's kind of like, you're going to believe what you believe, I'm going to believe what I believe. So it's like, when everybody just presents their own equal idea, it doesn't really matter, like, what the fuck is right or wrong at that point. So guys, let's just, please, just add on beneficial information. It's like, if you want to be an atheist and add on how the universe doesn't exist, at least add on a positive information where and say, hey, this is my belief, this is my idea. So then it's like, hey, if we don't want to doodle that into our freaking understanding and our known memory bank, we don't have to put that in there. So that's all I'm saying. Same with the creationists. It goes both ways, guys. If you guys don't say something clear cut, and you're not taking away, if you're taking information away from those atheists, and you guys don't have a reason or a right to, you guys need to be very careful, because you're just setting yourself up for a war. And that's why, I think both of us, we both fucked up, and let's just not fucking make it such a big deal, guys, because we're all human beings, and we're all natural born geniuses, because we all have the capability of knowing and learning information, all right? So you can write information or you can erase information. So it's kind of a rare ability to be able to write and read information. So, let's just at least write useful information, and let's freaking make things positive. I mean, if there's a reason to go negative, fine. If somebody wants to make a freaking horror movie, fine. That's a reason to make up a negative freaking story, because everybody knows it's not real. We know to not attach ourselves to that. Anything is like that. If there's a reason for something to be negative, fine. If it's for you to judge, if it's for your own individual self to take that information away, go for it. It's like, if you want to brush your teeth, you're taking that information away, that you're removing all that junk out of your mouth. That's your right to take that information away, because, dude, it's in you possess that information, so it's your right to take that information away. Same with, like, if you wanted to take your trash out of your house, that's your information, that you have the right to take that information away. So, there are beneficial times to be taking information away, but people get so used to just erasing and taking information away that they overuse the ability, and they just want to delete. Remember, deleting something is the easiest way to do something. Delete. Because when you delete something, you don't have to worry about it, and everything is simple. Everything is just absolutely gone. And guess what? And that's why all of us, we all screwed up. We're all getting lazy. We're all just deleting each other's comments and messages and information and ideas. And, that's not beneficial, because, it takes us time to come up with our ideas. And it's like, we need to keep as much information out there that we can kind of draw around the drawing board as we can. We don't really need to just delete information, guys, unless it's junk. If obviously we kind of know what a bunch of junk is. All right. Anyway, I hope everybody's getting the idea here. So I hope that the atheists will possibly come join our side, come join the light side, and just trying to see things more positively. And of course, it's not like I'm just saying, hey, you guys are wrong or anything, because it's always going to be a matter of like, hey, who's pointing the finger? Like, I'm right, you're wrong. So it's like I don't have the right to point at you and say you're right, you're wrong, because I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what experiences you've been through and what you believe in. So I can never really know what it is you can or cannot believe in. So it's not my right to say, hey, you don't believe this or you do believe that. So I got to give as much respect to my opposing believers as I can. And it goes both ways, guys. We need to be, to my believers, let's just be a little more respectable, and let's give them a reason to see why us believers tend to be a little more safer on the way we want to perceive things, because we're going to try to help people out, even if they're it's just more useful to try to help. All right, so let's just give them a reason. I mean, these people want us to prove to them, like, why is it more useful to believe that there's a purpose and a creator? Well, it's just kind of more useful, and it's kind of believing in the most. It's like, to believe in the most is to believe that there is a God, and that's my own opinion. So let's just try to fucking help everybody see, like, why do we believe in the most? I believe in the most, and I believe in God is because I just, for me, it makes the most sense. It seems to be the most appealing. It seems to be the most corresponding. It seems to be the most. I've done a lot of research and investigation. That's why I want to try to give you atheists a lot of respect, is because, man, I totally understand how you guys can be deceived by that. And I want to try to tell my people, like, guys, it's easy to be deceived and not understand, because everybody's taking so much information away, man. They're taking that information away from them, that they don't see creationism, all right? So, guys, we need to give them information. We need to give them a reason to see why it's beneficial to be positive. So I'm telling you guys, you atheists, I know what you're seeing. I know what you are believing in, and I totally can't knock you guys for kind of saying, hell, there's nothing out there. And that's why I'm trying to squash the whole war. It's like, guys, everybody has a lot of ammunition for what we can say is and is not. So let's just help each other out, guys. Let's just get to the bottom of this. Let's see what is the most useful. What is the most useful? All right, let's not worry about what is the worst. All right, and atheist, like I gotta say, you guys already have half of the story smashed in the coffin. So that the only problem with your other half of the story is you guys aren't really ever gonna find your other half of the story. But that's why you atheists, you guys, we kind of need to be a little bit more friendly to these atheists, because they kind of have a nice thing going for them, like how they can kind of just put up the fucking, like, don't want to listen to anything that anybody wants to tell them. So I'm telling you guys, if we get these atheists on our side, they're going to be dangerous for the enemy. So that's why I'm trying to round up atheists on my side, because, man, you guys are strong. You guys are powerful. You guys know how to freaking just say, well, you guys need to look at it like this. And that's what is kind of your greatest power and your greatest downfall. So I'm just going to tell you guys, like, people on my side, on the good side, You guys, we don't want to be freaking provoking these guys, because guess what? They're freaking powerful, man. They got a lot of power. We don't want them to come freaking proving us wrong, guys. They're the wrong people that we to be starting a war with. They are not the people that you want to come proving you wrong. All right, they're too freaking knowledgeable. They know too much information, guys, and you don't want to start a war with somebody that knows too much information. All right. So let's just relax, guys. Atheists, I'm just trying to get you guys on my side, because you're a power, you're a force to be reckoned with, guys. And if we can just make this more useful and beneficial for everybody, I think we can really start proving a lot of stuff and get to the bottom of everything going on here. So, atheists, I think you guys need to embrace your power for the more useful side of the outlook. Like, instead of saying, well, why is not? Why is not? Why is not? Why? Look at it more useful. But it everybody everybody's own perspective and ideas can be a good thing as long as it's not harming anybody. And that's our biggest principle that I just want to think that we should embrace, is between everybody, regardless of if you believe in nothing or if you believe in something. Regardless, I think we all need to mutually just believe in respecting each other's ideas and not harming each other without a reason. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, if somebody comes and tries to rob your house, I believe you hold enough evidence as a judge. Each individual is their own judge. I believe it's your right to make the decision on what you need to do to keep yourself safe. It's like, if you have a gun and they're in your house and you know that they could be doing anything to you, it's my personal belief, you have evidence for yourself to judge. Like, hey, you don't know what they could do to you. It's your right to judge, like, what, but, it's a matter of, you don't want to judge things too much. Because if you judge things for too much, you're setting yourself up for, like, an illusionary thing. So it's like, you don't want to, like, overestimate something, like a pack of gum. It's like, if you were going to sell a pack of gum to someone at a 7-Eleven stand, you wouldn't just say, hey, I expect this person to buy this pack of gum for $20, just because you can just kind of exaggerate it, like, because it's too much. You're expecting too much. You're overestimating. So that's how I believe how you need to judge things. It's like, just don't do it too much, guys. And forgive as many debts against people as you can, because it's more useful, guys, and that's what the universe does. It forgives debts, because it's just kind of something I kind of see the universe do. And I guess I could do that, explain that in another video. But anyway, I hope people are kind of led down a brighter path here, and everybody can kind of relax a little more, and we all kind of just see each other's sides of the story, try to figure out, like, what's the most useful and beneficial way to see this. And let's not knock each other's ideas without a reason. The only reason anybody can really knock my idea is if I'm harming you. All right, well, guess what? I'm not saying you need to believe this. So guess what? I'm not invoking any harm on anybody. So if you guys want to scratch all this information, feel free to. And that's why I'm proving I have not harmed anybody, because you have the option to believe or not believe any little thing that I've said or not said. So, guys, let's just not harm each other. Let's just put out ideas that people can select for themselves as being the most useful and the most beneficial. And I hope that everybody can come to understand that everybody's got a piece of the war that they can go using against each other. And it's not safe, guys, for us to just go feeding this war and making it as bad as we can for each other. Let's just put the guns down, and pick up the pencils. So guys, this is one of those things, like, we don't need guns. This is something that everybody just sketched their most useful idea out there, and I think that's really the most beneficial thing everybody can really do. Anyway, guys, I'll try to keep up some more videos. I kind of tend to find myself to be a spiritual, enlightened being, and I would like if you would all subscribe and follow my YouTube channel and stay close to my videos, as I am trying to release as much knowledge and information as I can, because I am very spiritually knowledgeable. So go watch my meditation videos. I can teach you how to meditate as best as I can. So I want everybody out there, believe the most you can, believe the most useful thing you can, believe the happiest scenario you can, believe the best uncertain idea you can believe in, believe the best dream that you can believe in. Remember the best things about people, remember the most useful things about people, remember, you just keep it positive, guys, and check out my videos, and I hope everybody will help each other out, and end the war here, guys. Let's just end the war. Let's just end this war. We all got guns, guys. Let's at least just shoot the gun in the air out of joy, like knowing, like, celebration. At least if we're gonna go shooting our gun off, let's celebrate, guys. Let's not just go pointing and shoving it down each other's throats. It's like, if we're gonna be shooting our AKs and our freaking grenade launchers and our C4 bombs off, let's just do it out of celebration for fun. We don't need to go strapping the C4 to a fellow brother and just watching them be as miserable as they can be. That's not what we're about, guys. We don't want each other to feel as bad as we can make each other feel. Come on now.